All right, coaches, welcome. This is the 9-Star Mastermind call. This is the hot seat call. What are we? May 4th. So the year is officially 1/3 over. We're done with 4 months. We're into the 5th month. Obviously, a lot of great things going on, a lot of excitement. You know, you guys all, I think, had great weeks this week. We've had, you know, the launch day was just off the charts. Numbers that we're seeing are incredible. Biggest launch in the history of the company. We had dinner last night with Carl, and I can tell you he was just like, this is incredible. But he was more excited about the fact that, you know, it's like he said it this way. He says, dude, we're batting 2 for 2, meaning 80-day obsession, now 2B mindset. And he says, you know, what was really cool is that we finally got this thing dialed in to where now we can see the future of how to do these launches with Bought All Access and have everything kind of lined up. So a lot of excitement going on. You know, we've got Lift 4 coming. It's lined up. It's next. It's on the horizon. This call today is a little bit special in the fact that, you know, as of Wednesday of last week, we're going to have the hot seat be she was a 1-star diamond last Wednesday, lifetime. As of Thursday, she's now a 4-star diamond. And I just want you guys to meet Emily Fauver. Emily, I'm going to let her introduce herself, but I want you guys to, I'm just going to give you kind of a little bit of a down low on her story. And then I really want to turn you guys loose to ask her any questions you have. If you don't, I've got questions and we can go from there. Just so you guys know, Emily is in the downline of Daniel Natoni. She's works with Ashley Molstad, is her coach. Emily has been a coach for 4 years, so she's not a brand new coach. This isn't brand new to the business. She's been around for a while, 1-star diamond for a long time. And then her story is committed to 80-day obsession, had a great transformation, and I'm going to let her explain this further, but that then changed everything, and now she's having this tremendous success. If you don't know, she, you know, since March 1st, she is now currently 9-star qualifying, and I can tell you that since March 1st, she's developed 11 diamonds. So I don't think this is, you know, a fluke. It's not a, you know, and 3 of those coaches, one of them is 2-star qualifying in 56 days. 2 others are 1-star qualifying, and that was as of last week. There could be others that are star diamond qualifying. So let's kick into this. Emily, let's go ahead. I'm going to change it to speaker view. You guys can mute and unmute yourselves as needed for questions. But Emily, let's start it off with introduce yourself. You know, tell us about Dylan, where you guys live. Give us a little background on you.
I knew you were going to ask about him. No, my name is Emily Fauver. I'm 26, and like Doug said, I've been a coach for 4 years. But I hate saying that because I didn't really do much for the first 2.5 years. Like I did, but I was the person that would like hit Success Club and just like cruise. I'm sure we all have coaches like that. And so I was one of those, and because I think it was because I didn't see the potential. And so I'm married to my high school sweetheart, and that's why I live in Louisiana, not by choice, because he is a pilot in the Air Force. And so we move quite a bit. And he wasn't the most supportive in the beginning either. Like he was one of those husbands that was like, do whatever you want, but don't come to me when it doesn't work, like kind of thing. And so he was always like really hard on me. And I think that's why I kind of cruised in the first 2 years, because we lived in a town with just a Walmart because we lived on the border of Mexico. And so I knew he wasn't going to go make me get a job at Walmart. So we lived there for 2 years, and it wasn't until he said, you know, we're moving to Louisiana, you better get your shit together. And then I like hustled a little bit more. But I mean, there's so much more, but I think I kind of just started getting my momentum as soon as he was like, we're about to move. And then I lost it all when we had like the worst year of our lives. If you don't know my story, we had 4 miscarriages in 2017. And so it was just like my body took a toll, my mindset, everything just like got destroyed, it felt like. And so again, I was just going through the motions, doing my workout, not following meal plans. And so I really feel like 80-day obsession was my time to, and before I even knew it was going to do anything with my business, I just knew I needed it for myself. And then it just, everything else fell into place, but I don't know.
Awesome. So you've got 2 dogs, and you guys will never guess their names. Her husband's a military pilot. She has 2 dogs. Their names are Maverick and Goose.
Mm-hmm.
which I thought it was interesting to have a dog named Goose, but kind of neat. So, Emily, talk about you kind of before the 80-day obsession test group. Like what was your coach life like? What were you doing? What was the business like? What did you do as a coach before you got into the 80-day obsession test group?
Well, I mean, I definitely didn't have confidence, and I actually really enjoy going through my social media because you can see as soon as that shifted, it's kind of crazy. And I was just going through the motions and doing the workouts because that's what I was told I was supposed to do, drinking my shake and kind of sort of trying. And I wasn't really getting business builders. As you could see, I've had 2 diamonds in the past, but they both canceled. And so I just felt like, I don't know, like I wasn't getting anywhere. And I heard something when I went to New Leadership Conference, and I think it was Bonnie, she said, you tracked what you talk about. And so after, like, everything you guys have seen has happened since March, but in February, and I came home, I was like, well, I got to talk about business more. And I know I'd never done that. I never even just like put in little things like on my social media. It was always just workouts and my shake and the same thing every single day. And so to me, it made sense. Now I'm like, well, no wonder I wasn't getting anyone. Cause now honestly, 75 of the people that come to me want to do this because I made it a goal that I'm going to talk about it at least twice a week. And that's not like this big drawn out post about how coaching changed my life. It's just sometimes just little stupid things. And like being a stay-at-home dog mom and all that. And so I think that has changed, like my mindset has changed a lot in that, but I don't know, like I said, I wasn't a coach that saw the potential that much in this, and I always wanted to be elite and all that, but we all know that you have to put in the work.
So let's have you now tell us what's happened. So I'll start it by saying what happened, guys, is we were putting together the 80-day obsession test group, the first one. And when we were doing the invites for that, actually Carl came and said, hey, let's invite the Elite 10. Let's have them, in this test group in addition to other coaches. Ashley Molstead at the time was pregnant. So, I reached out to Ashley and we said, hey, we'd love to have you in the test group. But obviously, 80-day obsession, I don't know if you'd want to do that or not. She said, no, but can I invite some of my coaches? From there, we were able to say, sure, who would you like to invite into the group? She invited Emily into the test group as one of her, guests or one of her coaches to participate in the group. So what we didn't know and what Emily has told us since is this is 2 weeks after Emily's 4th miscarriage in 2017. And then, go ahead, Emily, why don't you talk about just briefly making the decision and how we've got to where you are today. And then, guys, I'm going to turn you guys loose to ask her about whatever you want, and we'll kind of go from there.
Yeah, so it's actually funny because I was getting ready to start Shift Shop on that Monday because my husband was leaving again. So I was like, perfect time to get, my stuff together because I was 21 pounds than I am now. And so I got the phone call and I was like, didn't understand because I didn't think that, a diamond coach, deserved this. And so I knew it was an opportunity like I could not mess up. And I mean, you know what I mean? So I literally went into my bedroom and sat on my bed and I said, Emily, you have 2 choices. You can let this completely change your life or kind of sort of let it change your life. And I really had to get in my head about that because we all know how hard it is to stick to something for 80 days. And so I made that decision right there and then that I was going to give it my all 100%. And, even with the Disney trip and the New Orleans trip and birthdays and all that coming up, I was going to give it my all. And I did. And I made a public, on day one, I posted a picture of myself in a sports bra and really tight leggings that I was not comfortable in and just made that decision and told everyone too. And that was a big part. That was still one of my most popular posts that I've ever posted on Facebook. And so from there, I just literally gave it my all. I shared the whole journey. Literally, I shared transformation every Sunday, even when I was still 20 pounds overweight. I still shared and just talked about the hard things and the good things and all of that. And so, this all didn't happen as soon as launch happened. I didn't immediately become successful. It took some time even afterwards. Like, when did the launch happen? January, and March is when this kind of all started taking off. The entire Success Club and stuff happened. But I don't know. I guess just like I have no idea. Just besides like sticking to a program 100%, because what I always tell my challengers, if you can't stick to a program, your challengers aren't going to think they can stick to a program. And the thing that I've noticed is that the girls that are diamonds and hitting like SC 70 and above are the ones that got and stuck to a program 100%. And I think when they saw me do it, like even these random people I didn't even know before, they were like, oh my gosh, if I could do that, like if I stuck to a program, I could have what Emily has. And it's like, it's contagious, like almost.
Absolutely. So talk about your Instagram followers. Give them that statistic, because I think that's a compelling one.
Yeah. So I want to say, well, I didn't start my Instagram, which is stupid, until about a year and a half ago. I mean, I had it, but I didn't use it. And then when I started 80 Day Obsession, I think I had about like 600 followers. So in August, and now I have 15,000. So it just like grew like crazy, and everyone always asking me like how, and my only explanation is I post my transformation a couple times a week, but not in the same outfit, not like the same pose. I switch it up all the time. So, because I want someone to come to my Instagram and know that they have something to join right away. I don't want them to have to scroll 6 rows to find a group for them to join, because there's a call to action on every single one. And so that's something that, like, when people ask me like what grew it, because those, I'm sure you all know, but like before and afters is like really popular on the Explore page. So you want those to show up there, and then that's how you're going to gain all these random followers. I mean, it's free marketing. So and I will let you guys ask questions, but there's another really cool takeaway from Emily. Talk about how when you sign a coach, what you teach them to do right out of the gate. Okay. So I'm sure we all know, like, you get coaches, you get customers and they're like, I'm going to wait till the 80 days are over to be a coach. Well, I just had to like get out of my own way. And I just am totally honest with them in the beginning. I'm like, don't take this wrong, but I'm going to be completely blunt with you that I totally disagree with that decision, because I saw my whole life in business change from sharing from day one, sharing at 20 pounds overweight. And so, and I always tell them, like, what if I would have been so insecure with myself that I said, I'm going to hold off on coaching and everything for 80 days, I would not be where I'm at today. So I always tell them, please trust me and just start right now. If coach is even on your mind, you're going to start today. And they're like, okay. And so a lot of coaches, a lot of customers like start coaching from day one. And that's just the honest, like, from my honest experience, that's what works for me. So I'm teaching them the same. And another thing is, like, I just keep it really simple when I onboard them. Like, I don't have like a email or anything. I send them a message on Messenger. Sometimes I'll even text them, and I will give them like our training. And then I'll be like, okay, so your first goal as a coach is to get 3 people to sign up with what you just did. Does that sound good? And so I'm not saying the challenge pack. I'm not saying challenge pack with Shakeology. Like, I'm just saying 3 people to sign up with what you just did, and they know what they signed up with. And so I've not had one of them say, oh, that sounds too hard. Every single one is like, that sounds easy, I can do that. And so they're hitting Success Club right out of the gate. Even if they're not hitting Success Club, they're getting a point right away. And they're also like, what I've noticed too, maybe this is a good thing, but since they sign up as a coach, that's what they want to go sign up to. So like, they're setting all these people up in the beginning as coaches too. So it's pretty cool, because like I said, when I say go sign up as 3 people like you just did. So they're just looking for a coach and challenge back. And that, like, I've tried so many things. You guys know I've been in this for 4 years. So I've tried emails and all that. And that has been a game changer. Like, just keeping it simple and letting them know that they just have to find 3 people. And then I also mentioned like the trips and summit and that. And so I always think too, like, how would I want to be approached? Like, I wouldn't want my coach to send me like this huge long email, with all these links, because I'm a simple person. Awesome. So guys, what question? So you're now set up. You understand who she is, what she's had success doing. What questions do you have for her about what's working for her and her business?
Emily, I'll just ask really quick. If you're having all your new coaches go sign up 3 people right away, how are you effectively mentoring all these new people you're bringing on the team? Like, their coaches or mine? both, like you have brand new coaches sponsoring 2 or 3 coaches right off the gate. Like, how do they know how to mentor, or are you mentoring for them? Like, you're just telling people to go sign people up right away, and which is cool. So how are you mentoring your coaches and their coaches?
So we put together this university, and that has been, I think I put it together at the perfect time, because I made it in January and then everything took off in March. And so I sent every single person that, even their coaches. And I'm like, don't come to me until you finish that. But, honestly, like, I'll reply to their text messages and all that. And I don't want them to be afraid to, like, invite people right away. So I'm like, you can come to me and ask these questions. And yeah, it makes me a little bit busier, but it's totally fine. But the training is everything. And then I always tell them they could add their first challengers to my first group. So we always have a date every single month, and then the second one, they can go on their own and team up with someone else on the team. But
cool. So a team training, and then they can add people to your groups. They can just participate and learn how to do it the first time, then they do it on their own.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Thank you.
I have a question. Did I unmute myself? Okay, good. That was not my question. My question is, how do you think, I don't know if it's possible for you to answer this, but how do you think we could recreate that, like, test group experience? Because you were a coach for a long time, and we all have people that have been coaches for a long time. And we see them, they'll make Success Club once, twice, and then maybe not for a couple months, and they pop back in. How do you think we can recreate that experience without putting them in a test group to, like, light them up and get them committed and show them what they're capable of, and show them the, like, potential in the business?
Yeah, that's a good question, because I think, like, it was a mix between the test group and, like, I really needed it. So that's why I think I went so, like, 100%. But that's hard, because, like, I know my coach has even done, like, test groups, and, like, they don't do what – I don't really know. I think too, like, honestly, when I was in the test group, I didn't feel like I belonged there. So I was like, I'm not going to mess this up kind of attitude. So, I wish I could. That's a good thing to think about.
But Emily, I would say, obviously you're on your 3rd cycle of 80-day obsession right now, or right?
No, I'm not doing 80-day right now, but.
So you did it the test group, then you did it again.
Mm-hmm.
You're inviting people right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so my question for you is, you've been able to create 11 diamonds coming out of that. So somehow you've created an environment that is unique. And so maybe the test group, maybe that feel isn't the right question for you. Mm-hmm. What are you doing that's getting your leaders to create 11 diamonds? Like, that's literally unheard of. So what's the environment? What is it that you've done? Or what are you training so your team does that?
Well, I mean, training, being a product of the product, like 110%. Like, all my girls know on my team that, and I feel like this might sound weird, but they try to impress me because I did it. They're like, well, she did it. I don't want to, like, let her down by not doing it. So I think it kind of starts with us, like, we have to show them what's possible. And, if we're kind of sort of doing a program, then they're going to think they kind of sort of can do a program. And that is honestly, like, the biggest thing that I see my girls doing is they're getting, they're sticking to 100%, and they're, like, showing up in the pages and all that. But I mean, the atmosphere is just, like, real though too. Like, I'm always like, if you mess up today, that's fine. Tomorrow's a new day. Like, I'm not like, you're out of the group if you don't finish the program, because I feel like you can lose people that way too. Like, people think that they failed if they, messed up. But I think, honestly, I keep going back to just being a product of the product, and it starts with us, showing our coaches what's possible. And then you're also going to show their challengers what's possible and all of that. So I think that's almost.
I think your story is also impactful, where they learn from what you did, and then they kind of set that as the expectation for them to go and do, right?
Yeah. One of my coaches the other day, she's like, wait, she was a diamond. She was turned diamond like a couple weeks ago. She's like, I didn't know that you were a diamond in March. And I was like, ooh, but then at the same time, I'm like, no, it's good, because they can see what's possible, because they can see what happened.
Other questions?
Lauren mentioned, like, me sharing my transformations often. Another reason I decided to do that was because I know for me, like back in college, when I was looking for like motivation to work out, I would go to the Explore page and look at transformations like all day. So if I was doing that, who else? You know, like what's going to catch someone's eye? No offense, probably not just a random sweaty selfie. You know, they want to see like a change because then they're going to believe they can do it too.
Emily, tell me too about the transformation image the video that you did, because I think too that was so different that caught people's attention, and I think why you did it is really cool too.
Yeah, so my husband was out of town for my before and afters, and so I was like, well, I gotta, honestly, day one, I have great neighbors. I didn't like friends. I didn't want them to come over and see me like that. So I was like, I got to do it myself. So I just set it up on my ring light and took a video and took screenshots of the video for my before pictures. And then at the end, I was like, oh my gosh, I have a video here. I should put it next to it. And it took some work, obviously, but if anyone has ever had a great transformation, you know that you're going to get people that are like Photoshop, all that. So as soon as those started coming out, I was like, this is perfect. You guys could not tell me I Photoshopped this video, you know? And so I think honestly, it created more credibility too, like, cause they saw a video. But another thing that Danielle reminded me of is I don't just share transformations of like my body. I mean, just like full body, like it's my face. Cause that was the number one compliment I got right away as my face was changing. So I share my face often, my arms, my abs, my legs, like people loved my leg transformation, just everything, but obviously for today. And
so clarify that a little bit. So you do close-ups of your arms before and after,
mm-hmm.
close-ups of your legs before and after.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. If I've seen something's changed, I'm like, I'm going to show, like we were at Disney World night, took my father-in-law took a picture and I was like, my legs look good. And they did not look like that before. I'll put them next to each other. Just because if I'm thinking like, I mean, how many women want nice legs, right? So we, you got to show them that it works for every part of your body, not just a, full body.
Well, and I think it's so cool at the end of 80-Day Obsession when we saw all the before and afters being posted across social media. Look at how all of your guys' businesses elevated. Like because of the activity of the before and afters all being out there, all in the same space of 7 days, it just elevated everything. So, all right, other questions? Anita, you always have questions.
I'm just taking it all in, absorbing. In fact, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to go do that right now because I have my before body right now. So I'm like, I'm going to go because of Mexico. I have the same question as, I had the same question as Trina a few minutes ago. It just seems like a lot happening at one time. So I'm curious, like what system do you have in place to, I guess keep track. And I know that coaches don't need their hands held all the time, but I feel like there's a huge need for more one-on-one interaction. So.
Yeah, I mean, I tell them as soon as they finish the training, we get on a call. And actually today is when all of those calls are happening. And so that helps them like work for it, because, it's hard to get on the phone with that many people.
Okay.
And
I'm going to ask a question.
Oh, sorry. And so that's kind of how I keep track too, because it all gets generated into a website, like who finishes and stuff. But, I always will like ask my team page, if you're missing one thing from me right now, what is it? I want to know, or, if there's one thing I could do for you right now, what could it be? Because I don't want them to ever feel like just like they're a number, because you're right. This all did happen so fast and I'm still trying to find a good way to do this. But like my husband, he comes home now and he will talk, like last night, he talked to a few of my coaches about where to place their coaches. And, so he's very helpful because he understands that stuff better. So I'll get him on the phone even or texting my coaches. And that's so helpful because I still haven't figured out another good way.
Hey, I just had a quick question. This is Melissa Hedgens, and I'm totally in the salon with like foils everywhere. So that's why I have my video turned off, but I can totally turn it on. So lovely, I know. Question, I went to your Instagram page, and I lost connection there for a little bit, so you might have answered this question. You have a lot of before and after photos, which you did mention. Do you encourage your coaches that come on to like, hey, take a bunch of before photos and a lot of different outfits. And like I said, you might have mentioned that. I had to hop off for like 10 minutes, but.
No, I didn't mention that part, but yeah, I do. Because like for me, there'd be like a picture. I'm like, well, I don't see like a huge difference. And then like in another outfit, I'm like, wow, so not just for like social media, but also for themselves, like so that they can see themselves in a lot of different lights.
Yeah. Cause I was going through and I was like, okay, that's a lot of befores. And I know that you look fantastic now. And so I'm like, is that like after a pasta meal or I just didn't know how you come up with so many befores.
No, I literally, it went through my head when I started eating. I'm like, okay, I got to take in a lot of different outfits so that way I never run out.
No, I think it's great. I mean, I think it's a great idea. And I'm going to start telling my coaches like, hey, take some outside. I know everybody hates taking before photos, but now it's like, you don't need to show them until you're after, but take a bunch of different outfits and swimsuits and sports bras and whatnot. Okay. Okay. Great. Thanks.
I have a question. As far as all of your coaches that are finishing the training and you're doing the call, is that a group call that you schedule and have them work towards finishing so that they have that group call? Or are you getting on the phone with each person individually as they finish the training?
Individually.
Okay.
But I keep them short, like 15 minutes. Yeah. Another thing that I started doing, because like the biggest question is how are you creating so many diamonds, is I started doing these push to emerald calls, and I'll even do them sometimes 3 times a week. Like just whenever a coach comes to me and they're like, I need to get to diamond, I'm like, okay, pick 4 people in your downline that want emerald and let's get on the phone with them. And I will even like pick out girls that like say Alyssa's my coach and she has a girl named Jasmine under her that needs to be emerald for Alyssa to go diamond. I will personally message Jasmine and be, if I know she really, she wants to work in business, and invite her to this call, whether it's a text or on Facebook. And I just tell them, like I get on these calls sometimes, I think, I've had up to 40 people show up, 10, whatever. And I just make emerald sound super cool. And like how they don't, they want to get there. And I title the call Emerald in 24 hours so that they hear that and they're like, oh, I could get there by the end of the day. Not like, making a goal to be emerald in a month. It's going to happen this week.
Yeah, guys, we were on a call, Emily and I, the other day, and that was kind of awesome that it was like Emerald in 24 hours is the name of the call. And that she makes emerald sound super cool. And we were on this call and I asked this group of coaches, when's the last time you made emerald sound super cool? And they all, laugh, because it's like, we don't do that. We get so hung up on diamond that, anyway, I thought that was a unique kind of nugget there to say, hey, how do I make emerald sound super cool? Anyway.
Yeah, and I used to do like these push to emerald groups for like a week to 2 weeks. And I'm like thinking to myself, no, it shouldn't take that long. It's their husband and someone else, right? And like I also share like the benefits of signing your husband and like, my husband's income from the volume this year and all that. And so they know right away like what's possible. So they're not wasting any time. But yeah, sorry, I thought I see some questions. The website is on Thinkific, is that what it's called? Yeah, that's where, and it's nothing fancy. Like it's literally like the front page isn't even done. Like they sign in, the front page isn't done, and then it's videos, and it's my coach and I put it together. So we do every other day. And then my video, yeah, I can share my video. It's also on my Instagram a couple times. So that's another thing I do too. I recycle photos just because, and videos, because I know like my most popular ones, I will recycle, especially with how much my following has grown. I'm like, there's tons of people that haven't seen this, and I'll post a picture or video a second time and it gets more, engagement. I'm like, what? So I recycle a lot too.
Okay, Micah, what do you got? Micah, I swear I've talked to you 3 days in a row and you're in the same chair. I mean, at least the outfit is changing.
I know. This is my life for like 4 hours a day. This is how I work. Well, we just had Emily on our call. Luckily, we got in before she nixed that. So I got to pick her brain already. So I'm just letting everyone else do it.
Well, but then you tell us what these guys should know from Emily of anything we've missed. Well, what were your takeaways from the call with her?
She's very my style. She's very simple, like do your crap type of mentality. And what my coaches loved was she's not afraid to set expectations for her coaches and kind of give them some tough love, like to get them moving. And because a lot of my coaches are like, I think I'm too nice. Like, I'm just like, take your time, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, where do you get that? Because I'm not that way, but they are. So I think it was good for them to hear from someone else. I just got to like believe in my coaches that they can do this. I know they're capable of it. So she kind of empowers them early on. I love that.
And one thing Doug taught me too, like if a girl hit diamond in 41 days, I talk the crap out of that on the team page. Like, because I don't want people to think that diamond has to take 6 months. And so my girl that went 2-star qual in 56 days, we talk about her often. And I'll just always throw that number in there. And I mean, it's almost like a blessing and a curse because you get those people that are comparing themselves to these people that are hitting it so fast. But honestly, there's more good that's come out of it. Like, it's just lit a fire. I mean, I have 2 coaches that just turned diamond and they've been coaches for 3 years. And they turned diamond like the same week as other people. And I'm like, that has to be because you see that what's possible now and it doesn't have to take this, get out of your own head kind of thing.
And is that post a workout, during a workout? Where are they in their commitment to fitness?
Mid.
Like right in the middle of it.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And that's another thing is one of the girls that just turned diamond, she was like, I haven't been committing. And I'm like, well, commit. And then it was like a few weeks later, she hit diamond. So.
Okay, Erin Young, you always have questions. Come on.
Yeah, I asked one in the chat box, but I just wondered if you would mind sharing some of your main bullet points for why Emerald is so cool.
Yeah, so I talk about, one, how easy it is and like, you know, the benefits of signing your spouse, you know, for like what can happen with that. And then I talk about the cycle bonuses. And so you're not just like working for commission anymore if you keep growing. I talk about the success, like hitting success clubs, so then you can get like the leads and everything. And then I also talk about like the trips. So I throw that in there with Success Club, let them know, because, you know, just coming back from Mexico is the perfect time to talk about that. And then, oh my gosh, trying to think what else. Just like, I don't like to give them too much information. I like touch on like the most important. I mean, I really stress to them that right now as a coach, they're just working for commission. Like, that's not fun for anyone. And so I tell them, I'm like, I want you to learn from me and not take 6 months to be Emerald or whatever. You know, I want you to stop working for commission right now. So like, that's a huge one. And then also cycle bonuses, trips, and leads, I think, were probably the top.
I'm guessing that it's not that we all say those things about Emerald. I mean, it's the way she says it, right? So instead of just like making it sound like, oh, and you get team cycle bonus and oh, you get customer leads, she's just making it sound really cool. So I think it's also in the delivery more so than in the information. She's sharing the same info we're all sharing. It's just that the way she delivers it makes it seem so much cooler.
Yeah, and like, okay, so like I start the call, I'm like, hey, we're going to get to Emerald in 24 hours. If you don't see that vision, you know, see it now. And then like I share everything. And then before the call ends, I say, when we're done, even if you're not directly mine, I want you to message me and tell me who your 2 people are right after we got this call. And so I'm like, I see 26 people on this call. I'm expecting 26 emails by the end of the night. And that way I can hold them accountable. And I have a girl that like, messaged me, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, and she just messaged me. She's like, I'm Emerald. I'm like, who? But I mean, it works because she knew that she could come back to me and I would be excited for her. And she's not even mine.
Keisha?
So you are doing amazing. So I'm so excited for you. My question is, like, onboarding that many challengers with that high of success points, like, how are you running your challenge groups where you feel like you get to have that depth? I guess that's my only thing I'm thinking about.
Yeah, that's a great question. And it's been a challenge because, like I said, this all just happens so fast. And so I've had to tweak a lot of things and learn. But I turn off posting and I let them know why in the very beginning. And then I will do about 4 to 5 posts a day. So like, but I schedule them. And so at the beginning, they know what to expect. It's like the one that's in the back office, the daily post. And then it's like, an hour later, it's this is a food log for the day, so post food, and then question party, so tell me what your questions are, and then rate your day. And then I will try to hop in live as much as I can because I want them to feel connected to me. And so that has worked really well. And I've noticed like the engagement stays up for the most part. And I actually have a group. So I have 3 right now, and I have one that's in the middle, or no, sorry, the first one. And I had the posting, I kept it on, and it is the worst group. So I'm like, I don't know if that's just a coincidence, but I'm like, okay guys, where are you? Like, I just don't. And and then I had some people, like a few that are like, oh, we really want to post. So we have open wall Wednesdays. So they know on Wednesdays they can post whatever they want.
Emily, is this all Instagram? Are you using Facebook? Like talk about social platforms that you're using, and if you are using both, how are you doing it differently, or what are you posting differently?
Using both, but about 80% of my business comes from Instagram for sure. And Facebook, I post the same exact things on Facebook and as I do on Instagram, but I think everyone can agree with me here. I just love Instagram more than any other. And I use a like page. I don't use my personal page besides for like shout outs and stuff.
And all Instagram stories, or how are you posting there?
I try to post about 2 times a day. Lately my life's a little busier, so it hasn't been as much, but I make sure I post every single day, and then I will be on my Instagram stories throughout the day. And
how many posts a day on stories?
Oh, I don't know, a lot. I mean, not like to where someone's gonna want to skip the whole thing. And I try not to like talk the whole time, because I know for me, I don't like going to an Instagram story and someone's just talking unless like I'm obsessed with them, you know? So I try to like do talking and like my dogs and what I'm actually doing and that kind of thing.
And how often are you putting an invite out there?
All the time. Like I'll throw in an invite on my Instagram stories probably like every other day. But I don't like do the same thing. It's always something different the way I put it. But then like on my actual Instagram feed and Facebook, about once a week, maybe twice a week.
Okay. Other questions, guys?
I just posted it I typed it out, but also I just wanted to know how many coaches you are recruiting every month, or and what are some ways that you're helping them to see the benefit of Success Club and reach Success Club? Okay.
So I don't know the exact number, but I can tell you that from last month, but for February, it was, I think, 82. I recruited 82 coaches, and my gosh, it's May right now. So anyways, about 7, like anywhere from like 60 to 80 a month is what I've noticed. And so, and you know, some are just doing the discount, but I've noticed that even the discount will come back and they'll be like, okay, I want to work this business now. I'm like, okay, like I'm telling you, about 90% of the people that end up signing, even if their discount, end up working.
Are these from primarily calls to action, or are you reaching out to people?
Both.
Okay.
So I will reach out. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, you do private messaging on Instagram. Mm-hmm. Are you're finding people to invite, or are you, okay. So Yep. You're doing that on top of call to action. How many calls to action would you say you're doing every week?
1, because I don't want it to be like a ton, you know, and then people
right.
All I'm looking for. So,
and you typically have, I would assume, more than a couple hundred interested if you're doing 80.
You know, it's weird because like sometimes it's like 30, and then some, like this last one I put up, it was 100. But you know, honestly, not all those people follow through. So it changes from post to post, like, you know.
I also think too, Emily, correct me if I'm wrong, but now because you had initial success, and then some of your coaches started having initial success, it created a momentum that now people, it's like when you get that one firecracker who then sets all the other firecrackers in motion. So it's literally just like momentum. Nobody's coming onto her team right now and thinking, I just want to sit here and do nothing, because they see all these new coaches. So I think, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that because you got that spark going, now it makes it easier for you to keep that flame going of coaches wanting to get excited and do things.
Absolutely. They see, that's why, like I mentioned, you know, so-and-so has, you know, has successful her first month, or also like she hit diamond in 21 days. And what I'll do too is I will pick like the girls that I'm like, man, she's really impressing me, and she got to diamond in 26 days or whatever, I'll ask her to speak on, like, go live in our team page. And I'll, like, really build her up and be like, you know, Jessica's going to go live in here and share her tips, you know, because there's so many new coaches that are like, I don't know what to do. And then here's Jessica that got to diamond in 26 days. So don't tell me that you can't, you know, be successful. And so that's really been awesome. They love that because it's not just me here sitting, you know, successful telling them, you know, what to do. It's someone that's literally done it. You know?
When you private message people, sorry to jump in like that, because when you private message people, can you give us an example of what you're saying? Because I can't tell my coaches to do the Hey Girl method anymore. Like, it doesn't work. So I'm trying to find what the best way to go about that is.
So I personally mostly invite coaches. So I don't really have to invite challengers, but I will personally message them. And I used to think that I know everyone does it differently, but I used to think that, you know, you had to like all their stuff for a month and then reach out. But there was this girl that I'd been following, I don't know, for a week or two. And I just was like, I can't miss her. And this is just one example. And I reached out to her and I said, hey girl, I know we don't know each other, but I've been wanting to ask you for a while. And I let her know, I was like, and I think fear just got in the way. So she knows that I'm nervous to reach out to her. And that have you ever thought about coaching if you aren't already one? Like, everything you post is so inspiring. I feel like you should have been one like yesterday. And I'll kind of joke. And that girl, just for instance, she signed up that night and she is diamond and she has hit like SC 50 and above since she's been a coach. So that was like, because honestly, I was never one that would invite a lot because my coach never had to. So I didn't think that I had to. And that one, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like, you have to invite every single person that you see the vision in because look what you just got out of one.
Well, but talk about the gift. I mean, I thought you presented this so well, and we did a one-on-one with your coach and how she the gift concept.
Yeah, she mentioned that. She said, Emily teaches us that this is a gift. And I talked about it on Beachbody Champions, but when I got the opportunity to do 80-day obsession after the 2017 and having such a horrible year, I literally felt like I was given the best gift in the world. Like, I was like, oh my God. And that was before I even saw, you know, the 20-pound weight loss. That was in that moment. And I think that's also why I ran with it, because I saw the gift in it, just even a little bit. And so when I finished, I'm like, this is the best gift I was ever given in ever. I want to give it to everyone I can like talk to, you know, not because I have to hit Success Club or after ranking events, because I really believe in it. And I saw how much it changed my life physically and mentally, because it didn't kind of sort of change it, you know, it changed it completely. And so now I approach challenge groups. I mean, you know, like I tell my coaches, you have to do the program in order for you to see that it's a gift, right? Like, you can't believe it if you're not doing it. And so they're going into it with that, that mindset. And then also, like, I tell them to present, you know, you won't be afraid to invite if you see this as an amazing opportunity. You're not going to care if you get no's, if you see that this can change your life. And then same with coaching. Like, I've seen how much it's changed my life. I don't care if someone gets mad at me, because I'm like, you're lost, you know, like, this is a gift that I'm giving you and you're just going to come back and ask for it. That's kind of my mentality.
Emily, out of all, so you recruited 82 coaches. Out of all of them, how many came from calls to action and how many came from that private message invite?
Ooh, probably, I would say about 60% call to action, 40% personal invite.
And so you see that they, you know, say that they're interested or drop their email or whatever, and you reach out and you just start talking to them about whether would it be your challenge group, or are you strictly talking about the coaching opportunity?
Challenge starts with challenge group, because I want to know that they love the programs. Because, you know, we all get people that are like, I'm interested in coaching, but I want to stick to the gym. So like, I want to make sure that they want to like actually do a program. And I just like, hey, like, and I have a conversation with them. I don't make it anything like super professional. And like, another thing is I don't have them, and I know everyone does it differently, but like, I don't have them drop an email. I just say drop an emoji. And like, it is crazy, because to me, that's easy, you know? And they love it because it's just simple, and they're not having to like do much to get my attention. So I think my first initial message, as far as once they drop their emoji, says, hey girl, thank you so much for showing interest in my upcoming group. I'd love to have you. So sorry, I'm backtracking. The one that so it's been a lot of 80-day obsession. So I'll be like, are you familiar with 80-day obsession? So I keep it super short right away, ask them a question. And then I just put up a post, call to action, a day or two ago. And I mentioned, I didn't mention the name 2B at all. I didn't mention 80-day obsession. I said, I'm looking to help 15 girls transform their lives like I did. If you want to work out, cool. If you don't want to work out, that's fine. If you want to stick to meal plan 100%, we can do that. And like, I kind of just said that. And so when I messaged those people, I said, what caught your attention? And so if they're saying, oh, it was the no workouts, great. They're a 2B person. If it's the, I want a strict meal plan and strict like hard workouts, cool. They're 80-day obsession. And that's still something I'm learning. We all know 2B's just, it's brand new. So it's still, I was telling Doug, I was worried because my whole life has been 80 days. So how am I going to talk about this? And it was a very successful post. And I didn't even mention the name of the program.
It was the same way with 21 Day Fix. When other programs started to come out, I was like, okay, now what do I don't know how to talk about anything else. But I mean, I kept talking about the 21 Day Fix just because that's what worked for me.
Yeah.
Perfect. Chico, I know you typed a big question, but if you're going to turn your video on, just ask it. Sorry. You got to unmute. You want me to unmute you? There you go.
I figured it out. I did. I typed like 2 big questions, like very loaded questions. Hi, Emily.
Hi.
Thanks for this call. This has been awesome. So I missed the first 10 minutes. I'll just read my questions. But curious about your team call schedule. Like, do you do monthly team calls, like a big webinar? And then do you do continual like one-on-one calls with your PS coaches, or does it stop once they kind of figure things out? Or how do you handle that with how many people you have?
So I don't do calls. I stopped last year when things got hard in my life. And then, so what I've done this year though, is my coach hosts one with a few of her friends, like in the business. And so I will always post that on my team page and let them know that that's an opportunity for them. And I've been going more and more into them, like helping her with them. And like, Micah, I asked Micah to speak on ours. So like she'll, obviously be on that one, but I let them know it's available, but I don't do my own. And I thought about doing it, but I'm like, also like my coach has all these amazing people coming on. I don't want to, take away from that. And when they can have that. So yeah. And then as far as like, one-on-one. So it's so weird. I feel like it's just kind of happened. Like, obviously I do one-on-ones with people that finished the university. So today is just packed, and I try to do that all in one day because I don't know about y'all, but I don't like having like tons of calls throughout the day, throughout the week. And so I will talk to a ton today. And then after that, it just kind of happens. Like if a coach that's really, really working messages me, I'm like, yeah, I'll get on a call with you. But I've learned to say no this year. If someone has been doing this for 3 years and isn't showing up, isn't hitting Success Club, isn't putting in the work, I say start there first and then let's talk. I'm just honest with them, and that's hard for me because I'm a people pleaser and I want to be nice to everyone, but I have to value my time. So, it's definitely like the people that are putting the work get the calls the most, and they know that, I think, and that makes them want to work hard.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'll
Oh, no, go ahead. Sorry.
And like, I'll do little, like a random Zoom here and there too. I'm like, who wants to talk? Like, I have nothing to do for the next hour. Let's just get on and like talk and see how things are going, and they love that too. And I'll have the same girls hop on the Emerald to push to Emerald call just to talk, and ask questions. And so I give them opportunities to talk to me all the time. It's not like I'm like, no, I'm not talking to you at all.
Yeah. And thank you. And I think you answered the other one mostly about just like conversations during onboarding, like, or maybe you didn't, I don't know. Does everybody sign up as a coach? Like you're offering that option to everybody. Mm-hmm. Like what is the ratio you would say that somebody's like, no, I mean, I offer it to everybody. So I'll just say this, I offer it to everybody and I still get pushback about like, no, I think I'll just do, the customer account for now. And maybe it's in my delivery. I don't know. But I'm just curious if you ever get that too, where people are like, no, I don't want to put my social in there. I don't want to be stuck with this. I haven't gotten
the social thing in a long time, but I will honestly get 98% of the people say yes to the coaching opportunity. And even I'll have people come back and be like, so does this mean like they'll like sign in and they're like, oh, I didn't want to be a coach. Like, I don't want this. And then I reassure them and I say, oh, don't worry. over half the coaches I sign up or whatever are discount coaches. Like, do this for the discount. I started off as a discount coach, so you never know, like that kind of thing.
Okay.
So I'm not like, oh yeah, I get it. This is scary. Like, I'm like, oh, absolutely. No, I get that. It's, don't worry, kind of thing. And then let's go back.
Cool. Thank you.
All right, guys. So this call is recorded. It's going to be posted to the chat thread. I'll post it to the group. But we do have someone else here who has some questions. So, Carl.
I don't have any questions. I learned it all, man. No, Emily, this has been great. Hi, it's Carl. I'm here under Brittany, and so not nearly as cool or hip looking, but anyway.
Oh,
you did great, and it's incredibly impressive. Obviously this could go a couple hours because it's an interesting dynamic, and this is where I learned because it's so focused on coaching and bringing coaches in and hitting rank. This is something that I, as the CEO of the place and not really down in the trenches as a coach, I don't completely understand how to synthesize it. And frankly, some of the advice that I give is more attuned to the leadership ladder, which is bringing people through the customer funnel up to being a coach. So I think and really what works is what works, right? So I hope that people watching and that additional people who watch this pick up what works from what you've just described and what, obviously swagger, enthusiasm, and confidence and really good lighting matter. And you bring that to the table, but it doesn't mean that everybody has to have the same sort of protocol in the way they go about it. Although I will say that listening to you talk, one of the things that's really encouraging, first off, you're incredibly creative with this, but behind everything that you described were the vital behaviors. Short of now, again, I wasn't here for the whole thing. I don't know if you went into personal development or not, but I'm sure every once in a while you read something. At the end of the day, you're inviting. Your recognition game is really strong, and that recognition game is sort of, you're putting the right kind of recognition out there that is sort of helping turn the wheel so that people are like, oh, I can do this. This whole sort of dismissal of the recognition that it's hard. It doesn't have to be hard. It can be hard, or it can be something that you just attack. And I think that's great. But at the end of the day, behind it is recognition. And obviously, just looking at your social media, the way you put it out there of being proof the product works is just it. The one other thing I just want to highlight that is an observation here that I made a note of, and it's ironic because I'll see now I'm seeing me and hearing me twice. This is what I gotta do. Oh wait, Sorry, now I just talk through you?
No, yeah, you're good.
Okay, because it's my objective to just talk through you.
Yeah, that's right.
So, but you said something to the effect of, and I think this is really important, and this is like, okay, we are at a moment, like everybody thinks this is the way the business works, and we've turned the corner, and we've got this sort of flywheel going of product launches, but people don't understand just what sort of a revelation to be mindset is, because of exactly what you said, that you don't need to work out or you don't need to follow the same exercise program as me, but if you're looking to change your life, like I did, send me a message. So the fact that, and I just did this post in the 1x3x5 group, I think I asked last night at dinner, like, how are we going to deal with what do you do on Instagram stories? And then so I woke up this morning and I was like, oh, wait a minute, you still do the same Instagram story tempo. You show yourself working out, but when you do your invite, you go, hey, by the way, I'm starting this group. And the good news is I've also got a group where you don't have to work out, but you can still lose 5 to 10 pounds a month. So you're showing people, again, the goal is to help people have a holistic lifestyle change. But if they're not ready for that workout, you've just tuned in, like just such a huge percentage of your audience. And the way you put it, where you let them self-select into the question process, into the interview process, is friggin' genius. And I hope everybody on the call got that. If you didn't get it, go back and listen to it. It was about 5 minutes ago, and it was just stunning. Again, because the goal is, so ultimately, from my perspective, you want to be able to get to a point where you can share a cart with somebody, and you want to share the right cart with them. And the fact that you have them come in through the funnel, that makes the most sense. Oh yeah, I'm not interested in, I go to my gym, I do my thing, I just need to solve the nutrition problem. You've got you can send somebody the 2B Mindset program. So anyway, thanks for letting me watch this as Brittany. And great job. I think you're doing some really great work, and I think this call format is really cool.
Yeah, this is a mastermind that's every Friday morning. We're actually moving it to Thursdays because more can attend. But what we do is once a month is a hot seat. This is the first Friday of the month is the hot seat call. And then the other Fridays, it's just a mastermind where we just talk about 2B Mindset launch. We're kind of going through each of the, the best practice of the day kind of thing on most Fridays. Just the first Friday of the month we only record this one. So the other ones, you got to be there to participate. So,
you know what? Just to say one last thing, like just as we're on calls today, like there are people who in your teams who the 2B Mindset is not even on their radar screen. Like they haven't been paying attention. It's not a thing. And it's like watching a sailboat sit still on the ocean when the wind is just whipping. And you've got to get them in on what is an absolute revolutionary change in the business model, because it's just expanded us. It just doubled our potential to reach people. And whether they come through one of the fitness programs or whether they come through 2B Mindset, now they're going to hopefully meet at the same place, and that's where they lead a more healthy, fulfilling life, and they have more access to programs that then they can share with their families. So this is a big deal, but don't take for granted that everybody on your team understands how to incorporate this into a model that they just might have mastered or that they just figured out. But it's just as easy as saying, if fitness isn't your thing, but you'd like to solve the nutrition problem, or you wonder how you can make food your friend again, send me a message. Like there's just like this additional layer of invitation that's going to be so simple and so approachable that I hope everybody takes the initiative to take advantage of what can be a really meaningful change to the business.
Absolutely. Amber Snow, have you recovered from your sleep? Oh, you're not yet. There you go.
There we go. Yes, although then I was immediately followed by the baby being up all night the next night. So still tired, but yeah, it was, and I still think that was the best call for me, to stay up all night and do the share carts, because then during the day I could deal with the questions like, oh, my cart looks weird, or my password isn't working, like all of that. So I got to do the sales work overnight and then be really present in the group and be excited and lead a lot of the enthusiasm and like, hey, drop your order here, and people getting their shipping notifications and all that. I think that just helped more people end up joining, because we got quite a few more in the last 2 days, of course, as well.
Awesome. All right, guys, we got to jump off. Emily, thank you so much. We appreciate your input, appreciate your willingness to share, what's working for you. I appreciate all you guys who contributed. I think that, this is a great call. I will get the recording posted to the group, and we'll go from there. We'll see you guys next Thursday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time, but we'll see you guys then. Thank you again. We'll see you later.
Go get 'em.